leading us up to these pastimes of Krishna's birth, and then finally this killing of Putana, which will be completely covered in the end of chapter 6. That's where we'll stop. But for now, let's go back into this week's.
Prabhu,
yes.
does that mean that we'll not take a summer break next year?
No, we'll still do that. I'm thinking when we come back,
Okay.
Premananda, what we'll do is April, May, and June.
Right.
Those 3 months, the 3-month segments are good. Everybody keeps active. They keep looking. We'll do April, May, and June, and then July, August, and September. We'll take off again, and then we'll start again in October.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, this is December 2023. Lessons 3 and 4 from this week. And Samapriya, you want to choose somebody to...
Why don't you begin, Pati?
Okay. 10th canto, chapter 5. I believe that's the... what is that? Is that the meeting of Vasudeva and Nanda? Text 19. Sukadev Goswami continued. Thereafter, my dear King Parikshit, O best protector of the Kuru dynasty, Nanda Maharaj appointed the local cowherd men to protect Gokul, and then went to Mathura to pay the yearly taxes to King Kamsa. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Because the killing of babies was going on and had already become known, Nanda Maharaj was very much afraid for his newborn child. Thus, he appointed the local cowherd men to protect his home and child. He wanted to go immediately to Mathura to pay the taxes due, and also to offer some presentation for the sake of his newborn son. For the protection of the child, he had worshipped various demigods and forefathers, and given in charity to everyone's satisfaction. Similarly, Nanda Maharaj wanted not only to pay Kamsa the yearly taxes, but also to offer some presentation so that Kamsa too would be satisfied. His only concern was how to protect his transcendental child, Krishna.
I have a question.
What a horrible time to have so many babies being killed that you have to adjust like that.
Yeah, well, I was just going to ask, what is the difference? Today, also, people are just randomly killing babies. At least there was some strategical...
Well, they're willingly doing it. This was by force. Someone would come and kill your child.
All right, this material world is not a very nice place.
No, it's not. But imagine the the consciousness of people at large when there's such atrocious activities going on constantly, the fear, the anxiety. We're seeing little bits and pieces of it now in war-torn countries, how difficult it is for them. What to speak of when you have an army of people that come and kill all the babies being born? That's horrible.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's go on. Acharya Prabhu, would you like to read Acharya Das?
Unmute.
Unmute.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little sluggish there with...
That's fine, you're great.
Text 20 through 22. When Vasudeva heard that Nanda Maharaj, his very dear friend and brother, had come to Mathura and already paid the taxes to Kamsa, he went to Nanda Maharaj's residence. When Nanda Maharaj heard that Vasudeva had come, he was overwhelmed with love and affection, being as pleased as if his body had regained its life. Seeing Vasudeva suddenly present, he got up and embraced him with both arms. O Maharaj Parikshit, having thus been received and welcomed by Nanda Maharaj with honor, Vasudeva sat down very peacefully and inquired about his own 2 sons because of intense love for them. Purport: Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj were so intimately connected that they lived like brothers. Vasudeva's father, Surasena, married a Vaishya girl, and from her Nanda Maharaj was born. Later, Nanda Maharaj himself married a Vaishya girl, Yashoda. Therefore, his family is celebrated as a Vaishya family, and Krishna, identifying himself as their son, took charge of Vaishya activities, Krishi Gorakshya Vanijam. Balaram represents plowing the land for agriculture and therefore always carries in his hand a plow, whereas Krishna tends cows and therefore carries a flute in his hand. Thus, the two brothers represent Krishi Raksha and Go Raksha.
That's wonderful. So what can you tell me about these verses? Anything strike you?
Are you asking me, Mother?
Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes, yes.
I don't know, striking, but it's Prabhupada hammering home his constant point about cow protection, and depending on the land. Just that he's reiterating that point again.
Following the storyline, Prabhu, how is it that Vasudeva was able to leave and go so freely to mix with Nanda Maharaj? Wasn't he imprisoned? Anybody know?
At
I
that
think-
point,
Go ahead.
wasn't it that his, does anyone else know? He was released because
Yeah.
He had
Yogamaya.
Yogamaya, but Vasudeva had spoke. Oh, he actually spoke the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the Kamsa, and he was very regretful that he was keeping his sister and brother-in-law in the prison. So actually, he was in good standing of that for maybe about a week until he spoke to his ministers and went back to his old ways. Isn't it?
I believe so. I think that what happened was, yeah, when he saw Durga Devi, even though she told him that the son who is going to kill you has been born somewhere else. Now the event had already transpired. He knew what sense would it make to keep them imprisoned at this point. But I had always thought that when 11 years later, when Krishna came and they had the wrestling match, weren't they imprisoned then also? Can't really remember. Anybody remember if they were imprisoned and allowed to go to the wrestling match?
That's what it appeared like.
I think they were imprisoned because if I remember the storyline, Krishna and Balaram after killing Kamsa, it's mentioned somewhere that they released their parents,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So-
after they
right.
killed
I
him.
recall that, yes.
And they
Right.
dragged his body to Vishramghat so that they would understand he really was dead.
Yeah.
Glorious. Glorious. Okay.
Could I throw in a quick comment here? I always thought it was really funny how after Kamsa decided, seeing that a daughter was born and not a son, and he let them free for a little while. I always thought it was really funny. Kamsa said, "Oh, it seems like even amongst the demigods, there's false gossip going on." In other words, he was taking that now he didn't believe the voice from the sky saying he was going to be killed. And I just thought that was a funny way that he put it.
Yeah. Well, he was a funny guy. Definitely a funny guy.
Yeah, laugh a minute.
All right. Well, let's go on. Premanandaji, would you like to read?
Yes.
Thank you,
Hare-
Jerry.
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:523. My dear brother Nanda Maharaj, at an advanced age, you had no son at all and were hopeless of having one. Therefore, that you now have a son is a sign of great fortune. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. At an advanced age, one generally cannot beget a male child. If by chance one does beget a child at this age, that child is generally female. Thus, Vasudeva indirectly asked Nanda Maharaj whether he had actually begotten a male child or a female child. Vasudeva knew that Yashoda had given birth to a female child, whom he had stolen and replaced with a male child. This was a great mystery, and Vasudeva wanted to determine whether this mystery was already known to Nanda Maharaj. On inquiring, however, he was confident that the mystery of Krishna's birth and his being placed in the care of Yashoda was still hidden. There was no danger, since Kamsa at least could not learn what had already happened.
Very good. What do you got? What do you got to say, Pregnant, about?
I think Vasudev is a great, I was a very smart, negotiator or very tactical, and he knows how to say things.
Yeah.
So there in this conversation with Kamsa in the beginning when Kamsa tried to kill Devaki, and later on after Yogamaya was born, and now like he knows how to talk to people, without revealing everything. That's what I can understand.
Good. Diplomacy.
Yes, that's the word.
You
Diplomacy.
can
Yes.
be a politician for Krishna. The
So he's-
best, and Krishna is the greatest politician. He really
Right.
is. He talks to the gopis and the whole thing.
Right.
So this can be used. These tendencies can be very nicely, and there is humor in it, just like Acharya
Right.
mentioned. There's a great. This is not without a personality and a sense of, comic.
Right.
All right.
Also the male child and female child thing, I did not know that when you get old, it's difficult to get a male child.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Something new.
Yes, that's true. Okie dokie. Anyone else have something to say as we go along? No? Pat, you want to put on the next verse? Tisha, would you like to read?
Yes.
Before you start, I see Acharya. Do you have your hand raised, Prabhu?
Yes, I do. I don't know the etiquette here yet. If I do,
No,
raise
that's
my hand, or if I just-
perfect. That's exactly
or
what
if I
you
just
do.
butt in.
No.
Yeah, I just thought that I really liked what Prabhu said about Vasudev's questioning. But another way to look at it, this is just my speculation, is that it's kind of admission by Vasudev that Krishna actually is Nanda's son.
That's this, as we were reading together, this whole thing, this is a great mystery. It's a great around the birth of Krishna and this whole. And the Goswamis have been commenting about it, and it's a great mystery. But certainly Nanda Maharaj is the father of Krishna, and so is Vasudeva. So, okay, I don't know the absolute conclusion, except that they're both his father. It depends upon your mood and devotional service.
But-
And even if you take it, even if you don't go with the literally born from, it's still kind of admission that you're loving him, you're raising him.
Yeah.
Just like Jiva Goswami, the real meaning of son is not by birth but by love. So even if you simply take it in that sense, he's still accepting that, oh yeah, Nanda Maharaj is the father of Krishna.
It's also stated that he is the spiritual son. You're the spiritual father of Krishna. I think we read that in the Bhagavatam, or maybe I read it in the Gopala Champu, but I think it was in the Bhagavatam. Good point. Okay, let's go on now with Tisha reading. Tisha.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:5, 24 to 26. It is also by good fortune that I am seeing you. Having obtained this opportunity, I feel as if I have taken birth again. Even though one is present in this world, to meet with intimate friends and dear relatives in this material world is extremely difficult. Many planks and sticks, unable to stay together, are carried away by the force of a river's waves. Similarly, although we are intimately related with friends and family members, we are unable to stay together because of our varied past deeds and the waves of time. My dear friend Nanda Maharaj, in the place where you are living with your friends, is the forest favorable for the animals, the cows? I hope there is no disease or inconvenience. The place must be full of water, grass, and other plants.
Go on.
Report by Srila Prabhupada. For human happiness, one must care for the animals, especially the cows. Vasudev therefore inquired whether there was a good arrangement for the animals where Nanda Maharaj lived. For the proper pursuit of human happiness, there must be arrangements for the protection of cows. This means that there must be forests and adequate pasturing grounds full of grass and water. If the animals are happy, there will be an ample supply of milk from which human beings will benefit by deriving many milk products with which to live happily. As enjoined in Bhagavad Gita 18:44, Krishi go rakshaya vanijam vashya karma swabhavajam. Without giving proper facilities to the animals, how can human society be happy? That people are raising cattle to send to the slaughterhouse is a great sin. By this demoniac enterprise, people are ruining their chance for a truly human life because they are not giving any importance to the instructions of Krishna. The advancement of their so-called civilization resembles the crazy efforts of men in a lunatic asylum.
And why is that? Why is that, Tisha?
Because instead of protecting the cows, they're doing the, exact opposite and thinking how great they are that, they are killing cows and eating them. It's obscene to me, that not only do they do it, but then they brag about it or feel like there's some kind of superior, they're superior because they're able to carry out this slaughtering.
And distributing it to others, having restaurants all over. Prabhupada says in the purport here something about if the cow is not protected, there will be, the human society cannot come to the human level, and we see this. Could you bring back the text? Why don't we look at this for a minute? Because as Acharya mentioned, Prabhupada's always referring to the problems that we have in this world today because of the way we take care of the cows or don't take care of the cows. People are raising cattle to send them to the slaughterhouse is a great sin. By this demonic enterprise, people are ruining their chance for a truly human life. So, what is that? Someone say. You can say, Tisha.
What? Say that again, what you were
Well,
saying?
how we're ruining yes, it's opposite. How are we ruining our chance for the human life? What is it? What are we actually doing to ruin the chance? And what chance?
If people are killing cows, then they're going to suffer the consequences of their karma, and they're not going to get a human. They may not get a human birth.
And what is the value of the human birth? I mean, we see people are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is the materialistic mentality. What's the value of the human birth?
The value of the human birth is to serve Krishna and chant Hare Krishna and attain, Krishna consciousness, go back home to Godhead. But
that's exactly it. We're ruining our chance for human birth. The one opportunity that a living entity is given to go back to Godhead. Anyone else have anything to say about that? Really
I came across a nice reference recently. The place where Krishna and Nanda Maharaj had settled and where Krishna appeared, we hear it being called Gokul, but the actual name of the forest was Mahavan, which means great or big forest. And the reason that they were there was because it was, as Vasudev's asking, it was very lush. It was very full with grasses, big forest, Mahavan Gokul. So that's one of the reasons they were there. And then, as we'll read later, because there were so many disturbances and demons who were attacking, they decided to move. But that's where they were originally.
Okay, let's go on. Chaitanya, would you like to read? Thank you, Tisha.
Hari Bol. Good morning, dear devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:5, 27 through 30. My son Baladev, being raised by you and your wife, Yashoda Devi, considers you his father and mother. Is he living very peacefully in your home with his real mother, Rohini? When one's friends and relatives are properly situated, One's religion, economic development, and sense gratification, as described in the Vedic literatures, are beneficial. Otherwise, if one's friends and relatives are in distress, these three cannot offer any happiness.
Go on.
Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:5, 29 and 30. Nanda Maharaj said, "Alas, King Kamsa killed so many of your children born of Devaki, and your one daughter, the youngest child of all, entered the heavenly planets. Every man is certainly controlled by destiny, which determines the results of one's fruitive activities. In other words, one has a son or daughter because of unseen destiny. And when the son or daughter is no longer present, this also is due to unseen destiny. Destiny is the ultimate controller of everyone. One who knows this is never bewildered." Srila Prabhupada's purport. When Vasudeva understood from Nanda Maharaj that the mystery of Krishna's birth and his having been exchanged with Yashoda's daughter was yet undisclosed, he was happy that things were going on nicely. By saying that Vasudeva's daughter, his youngest child, had gone to the heavenly planets, Nanda Maharaj indicated that he did not know that this daughter was born of Yashoda and that Vasudeva had exchanged her with Krishna. Thus, the doubts of Vasudeva were dispelled. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:5, 31. Vasudeva said to Nanda Maharaj, "Now, my dear brother, since you have paid the annual taxes to Kamsa and have also seen me, do not stay in this place for many days. It is better to return to Gokula, since I know that there may be some disturbances there."
Oh boy. So we have two things here that I'd like to ask you. First of all, it's confirmed again the mysteries around Krishna's birth. I mean, it's a very esoteric topic and it's very mysterious. So, and it's also said in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who understands the appearance and disappearance of the Lord goes back to Godhead. So I don't understand either of that. So maybe you can explain that to me.
Oh, I'm afraid that a lot of this is just going to remain out of our jurisdiction. It's going to be adhotsaja, which means beyond the senses. And the appearance of Krishna here is, even though these two are talking about it, that's kind of a comfort to know that they're both trying to get on the same page about whose son is Krishna and whose daughter is the Mahamaya. So they're trying to figure it out, and it remains totally unsettled, except I think Vasudeva is the one person who really knows what's going on, and he's trying to give Nanda a hint that, by the way, you had two children, you had a daughter and you had a son, and he's constantly deferring to Nanda, which is as it should be, because Nanda is the elder of the two.
You know, it seems to me that Nanda, there's no doubt in Nanda's mind that Krishna is his son. There's no, it's not that he's trying to figure anything out. He knows Krishna is his son. He's only concerned about Krishna. That's his son. He doesn't. It's just like Jagannath Mishra, when he was told, when Lord Chaitanya was cutting school, he said, "I don't care." And people were saying, "This is your son. He could be the Supreme Personality. I don't care who he is. He's got to go to school." You know, this Bhav, this Vatsalya Bhav is very strong. So, okay, that's good. But then what about the unseen destiny? And we can open that up to anyone. That unseen destiny. This is to me a very fascinating thing. This is what we're all caught up in.
I was just thinking unseen means inscrutable. We can't use our logic and reason to understand what is karmically going to happen to us, and we can't beat ourselves over the head when things don't work out and say, well, it was my responsibility. But no, we need to always know that Krishna's hand is there, and it's not within our we're not always privy to the makings, the workings of destiny, and that's okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's okay.
We need to practice santosha, contentment and serenity
Yes.
in that regard.
Yeah, very good. Be satisfied and content. There's Madhurya Leela. Let's ask her. Madhurya Ji,
Oh,
can
no,
you tell us something?
no, not about this. I had another question.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, since Rohini's name came up this week in class, it came up that Rohini was the sister of Vidura. Do you know the connection?
Remember when we studied this? Actually, we studied this together, all of us in the Bhagavatam. There's another bewilderment, inconceivable, that handy word comes in. Oh, do you know the answer to that, Acharya?
Unmute, Prabhu.
Yeah. I don't have an answer to this. I was actually wanting to address something Mother Samapriya said earlier. So after this, maybe I could
Okay.
address that.
Patti, you want to help us out with this one about Vidurya? Because we also discussed this a lot.
I'd have to go
Rohini's
back. I'd have
relationship.
to go back and look it up. I don't remember our study, our conclusion.
It could be through marriage. I think that it was considered through marriage, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. We'll have to get back to that, Madhurya. So, Acharya?
Yeah, I was thinking about the question you asked about, regarding Janma Karma Chame Divyam, and we need, if we understand Krishna's appearance, and do we understand it? So I was thinking that there's one way, and Prabhupada would sometimes say that if you just understand Krishna's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that's sufficient. But at the same time, there's so much more to understand about Krishna's existence. And the same thing in Krishna's appearance. You could just simply accept Krishna appeared from Nanda or Krishna appeared from Vasudeva. But there's also so many intricacies about it to understand. So I don't have an answer, but I think that's a big question about how much and in what way we need to understand all these things in order to be qualified to return back to Godhead. That there's a simple understanding, there's an in-depth understanding, and both have their places.
And it all comes under the category of inconceivable. How's that? That's the real handy word
Yeah,
in relation
ultimately,
to Krishna. Thank you. Premananda?
No, what is Mother Leela's question?
She wanted, in the first canto, there's a reference when Vidura is speaking to Maitreya, and in the purport, Prabhupada refers to Maitreya as the sister of
Vidura.
I mean Vidura as the sister of Rohini. Do you remember that? And that was also something that we had discussed.
I think that's in third canto somewhere, yeah, where it's mentioned that Vasudeva had 16 wives. One is Rohini, and Rohini is the sister of Vidura. I remember it's mentioned in.
Oh, you have to bring that up. I want to see it written. Good.
Well, we know Vasudeva had 16 wives.
Yeah, but
So
whether the
he's saying
sister is Rohini, because
he's saying through the wife.
Well,
like that, like you said, through marriage, a wife is considered a sister-in-law.
Yeah, it would be sister-in-law because Vidura, his birth was he was born a Sudra. That's the whole part of the drama.
But he was also considered a Kuru and one of the three brothers, sons of Vyasadeva.
But right. Okay, do you have something to add to that, Acharya? Then we're gonna go on.
Yeah, I don't want to drag it out. And this is, I just looked it up on Wikipedia, so this is not absolute truth, but it says that Rohini is the daughter of King Balika, which makes her a cousin of Bhishmadev. So in that sense,
Oh, and B.
Vidura
Well,
is sort of the foster father of Vidura and others. So in that sense, there you could say there's a something like a brother-sister
that's
relationship.
interesting. Thank you. That's a good one.
Before we go on, just want to share something that came to light as we read these that kind of helped me understand how Krishna is both the son of Vasudeva and Nanda, according to their different moods in devotional service. The Lord is actually described as birthless. He doesn't take
Yeah.
birth, he appears, and he can appear to anyone in any form. So, according to the person's yayatamam prapadyante, according to how we approach the Lord, how one approaches the Lord, he'll reciprocate. So, in this way, the inconceivable simultaneous oneness and difference that he's the son of Vasudeva is okay, and that he's the son of Nanda Maharaj is also okay. They both blend nicely. He's appearing to both of them, and according to their different bhavs of Vatsalya. So that kind of helped me appreciate both at the same time.
Good. And just taking that a little step further, he also can be the son of many millions and millions of mothers and fathers. All the mothers and fathers in Braj were his parents. It's actually stated that in Gopala Champu. And what to speak of our own mood and devotional service, you know, we're supposed to cultivate a mood with Krishna, one of these five, of which one is Vatsalya Ras.
Prabhupada does say, however, that we shouldn't think we are Nanda Maharaj.
Right. That's very important. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chaita. Kate, would you like to continue reading? And then we'll go on to the next verse, and you can read that too. Caitlin, you there? Oh, she just went off for a minute, I think. Okay, we'll come back to Caitlin. Ian, Hare Krishna, Ian. Would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, everybody. Sorry I'm late. And thanks for the sangha. So it's chapter 6, killing of demon.
No, the first read and the last verse of the previous chapter.
Oh yes, 10:5:32.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Shukad Devi Goswami said, after Vasudeva advised Nanda Maharaj in this way, Nanda Maharaj and his associates, the correct men, took permission from Vasudeva, yoked their bulls to the bullock carts, and started riding to Fort Gokul. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose to the 10th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva.
Okay. So that's the end of that chapter. Any
Yes.
questions about that? The last part of the chapter. So we'll go on then, chapter 6. Do you like continue? Ian?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah. Chapter 6, the killing of the demon Putana. Ten 10.6, 1 to 3. Shukadeva Goswami continued, my dear king, while Nanda Maharaj was on the way home, he considered that what Vasudeva had said could not be false or useless. There must have been some danger of disturbance in Gokul. As Nanda Maharaj thought about the danger for his beautiful son Krishna, he was afraid and he took shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Controller. While Nanda Maharaj was returning to Gokul, the same fierce Putana whom Kamsa had previously engaged to kill babies was wandering about in the towns, cities, and villages doing her nefarious duty. My dear king, wherever people in any position perform their occupational duties of devotional service by chanting and hearing the Shravan and Kirtan of Vishnu, there cannot be any danger from bad elements. Therefore, there was no need for anxiety about Gokul while the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present.
Go on.
Purport, Shukadev Goswami spoke this verse to mitigate the anxiety of Maharaj Pariksit. Maharaj Pariksit was a devotee of Krishna, and therefore when he understood that Putana was causing disturbance in Gokul, he was somewhat perturbed. Shukadev Goswami therefore assured him that there was no danger in Gokul. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur asong Amaswaya Kari Yatan to me Tata Ta Kaha Apana Kaje. Everyone is thus advised to seek shelter in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and remain engaged in his own occupational duty. There is no loss in this, and the gain is tremendous. Even from a material point of view, everyone should take to chant the Hare Krishna mantra to be safe from all kinds of danger. This world is full of danger. Padam padam yad vipadam. Therefore, we should be encouraged to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that in our family, society, neighborhood, and nation, everything will be smooth and free from danger.
Oh my goodness. So this is interesting. It sounds very dangerous that Putin is going around, and now Sukadeva Goswami is telling Pariksit, don't worry, wherever Krishna is present, there's no danger. But we also see there's supposedly danger. There's so many demons are coming to kill, and Vasudeva and Devaki are being harassed. How do you answer that, Ian? There appears to be danger. Is that danger? What is that called?
As we said, for example, it's inconceivable. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is playing the role of a child, in other words, he's the original person, but yet still he has parents. So in other words, it would be inconceivable for the original person having pain, but that's part of the Lord's Leela. Mm. Also, we're saying, okay, because the Lord is playing the form of a human child, then when, yes, danger is there, as you said, there's danger at every step. So whereas there seems to be danger, but in another sense, there's no danger because the Supreme Personality is there, although it's in the form of a baby.
Wow. So what do you need for that? What do you need to have to realize, even though there's danger, there's no danger because Krishna's here? You need to have something very well developed. What?
You must have faith.
Yeah. Very good. You must have faith. Good.
You must have faith, yes.
Okay. And you were going to say another thing?
No, I was saying that just like the demigods came to offer prayers to Devaki, the Lord was in the womb, but at the same time, the Lord didn't need to be, in other words, they're praying to the Lord to protect the Lord. In other words, the prayers they've been offered to is the Lord. Prayer to Lord for the Lord. There was, yeah. So in this case, yes. So we're saying, yes. So we're saying, okay, so whereas there was, in one sense, there seemed to be danger, but in another sense, there could be danger because the Supreme Personality of God is there. But all in the Leela, so, we are fortunate to be able to understand it, to that extent.
Right. And what you mentioned, Nanda Maharaj had that feeling. He was worried for his son. This whole thing, Vasudeva and Nanda, they're worried for their son, who is the Supreme Personality of God, who we shouldn't have any fear if he's present. Very, very good. That's a definite Vatsalya Bhav. Very good. Anyone else have something to say about this? Hare Krishna. We can analyze everything. Prabhupada said you could spend 3 months on one verse. Yes, Acharya.
Yeah, this is something else I don't have a conclusive answer, but about Prabhupada's statement about Putana being previously engaged to kill babies. Some of the acharyas were wondering or discussing whether Krishna was Putana's very first victim or whether she had been killing babies. And some of them say on the strength of, which is it? on the strength of text 2, no, on the strength of text 3, because where devotional service of chanting and hearing is going on, these witches and such can't enter. So some acharyas say that no other children in Vraja were killed, because naturally all of the residents of Vraja are engaged in full devotional service, hearing and chanting. So some of the acharyas say, oh, Krishna was the first child that Putana attacked, and no other Vrindavan children were harmed.
But it's also stated that she was known for killing
Right.
children.
So it's one of those things where different
in other places, perhaps.
say
In other
differently.
places,
I just thought to mention
Okay,
that.
being similar. That's good. Thank you. All right. Let's go on now with Kate. Would you like to read, Kate?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
You're gonna bring it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6, 4-7. Once upon a time, Putana Rakshasi, who could move according to her desire and was wandering in outer space, hold on a second.
Kate?
Sorry, I'm competing with my son. He's
Okay, Hare
Yelling.
Krishna.
but her converted herself by mystic power into a very beautiful woman and thus entered Gokula, the abode of Nanda Maharaj. Her hips were full, her breasts were large and firm, seeming to overburden her slim waist, and she was dressed very nicely. Her hair, adorned with a garland of malika flowers, was scattered about her beautiful face. Her earrings were brilliant, and she smiled very attractively, glancing upon everyone. Her beauty drew the attention of all the inhabitants of Raj, especially the men. When the gopis saw her, they thought that the beautiful goddess of fortune, holding a lotus flower in her hand, had come to see her husband Krishna. While searching for small children, Putana, whose business was to kill them, entered the house of Nanda Maharaj unobstructed, having been sent by the superior potency of the Lord. Without asking anyone's permission, she entered Nanda Maharaj's room, where she saw the child sleeping in his bed. His unlimited power covered like a powerful fire covered by ashes. She could understand that this child was not ordinary, but was meant to kill all demons.
All right. Why doesn't Madhurya Leela read the next, and then we can have a discussion? Madhurya? Are you there?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Okay.
So where did she leave off? I didn't see.
Just you start from the top.
Oh, okay. So this is text 8 to 9, chapter 6. Lord Shri Krishna, the all-pervading supersoul lying on the bed, understood that Putana, a witch who was expert in killing small children, had come to kill him. Therefore, as if afraid of her, Krishna closed his eyes. Thus Putana took upon her lap him who was to be her own annihilation, just as an unintelligent person takes a sleeping snake on his lap, thinking the snake to be a rope. Putana Rakshasi's heart was fierce and cruel, but she looked like a very affectionate mother. Thus she resembled a sharp sword in a soft sheath. Although seeing her within the room, Yashoda and Rohini, overwhelmed by her beauty, did not stop her, but remained silent because she treated the child like a mother. Prabhupada's purport. In this verse, there are two perplexities. When Krishna saw that Putana had come to kill him, he thought that since this woman was present with motherly affection, although artificial, he had to offer her a benediction. Therefore, he looked at her with a little perplexity and then closed his eyes again. Putana Rakshasi was also perplexed. She was not intelligent enough to understand that she was taking a sleeping snake on her lap. She thought the snake to be an ordinary rope. The two words antakam and anantam, that's what it said, are contradictory. Because of not being intelligent, Putana thought that she could kill him. Antakam, the source of her annihilation, but because he is Ananta, unlimited, no one can kill him.
Okay, so here we have a very
There's
beautiful.
more to this purport if you want to continue, or
All right.
we mixed it up. I wasn't sure.
Okay. Why don't you continue reading that, and then because I want to.
Somebody else can do it.
Okay, Kate, you read this because I was going to discuss it with you.
Although Putana was an outsider, and although she personified fierce death because the determination within her heart was to kill the child, when she directly came and placed the child on her lap to offer the child her breast to suck, the mothers were so captivated by her beauty that they did not prohibit her. Sometimes a beautiful woman is dangerous because everyone being captivated by external beauty, Maya Mohita, is incapable or is unable to understand what is in her mind. Those who are captivated by the beauty of the external energy are called Maya Mohita. Here, of course, the two mothers, Rohini and Yashoda, were not Maya Mohita, deluded by the external energy, but to develop the pastimes of the Lord, they were captivated by Yoga Maya. Such Maya Moha is the action of Yoga Maya.
Wow, this is very profound. This is describing everyone's situation in the material world, being captured by the material energy, this glow. You see something very beautiful, a beautiful woman, a beautiful man, something beautiful. It attracts you, and you don't think of the result and the reaction to that. What can you say about that, Kate? And Midoriya, your comment next. Being attracted to this world.
Yeah, it's so attractive. Our senses are so easily fooled. But it's ultimately, this is, she was sent by Krishna to do this as a way, this is the way Maya works, right? I mean, if we want, to the extent that we desire to engage our senses, then we will have unlimited, desires that only lead to nowhere.
Right. Okay. We have to be very cautious. How can we guard ourselves? Because wherever we look, there's the glow of Maya. Maya's so good. She's good. She's better than you are. She's better than I am. She's the best in all ways. She will get you just when you think she was not going to bother you anymore. How do we defend ourselves from this witch called Maya? Go on.
How do we defend ourselves from Maya?
How do we defend ourselves?
We have to have knowledge. We have to study. We have to practice. We have to keep Krishna in the center.
Good. That's how we do it. We have to keep Krishna in the center, and we have to, of course, Tisha, what do we have to do?
We have to chant.
There you go. We have to chant his holy name.
I think
because he's none different than his name. Go on, Pati.
I think we need the help of all three: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra.
Oh, beautiful.
That's the only, those are our protectors. They give us the weapons, the information, the knowledge, the tools to deal. It's not just one thing. All three together work. That's why it's important to understand all three of them. The Guru means more learned devotees, people who can instruct us. Sadhu also means association of devotees. And the Shastra we can see here, it's transcendental. And it's even explaining in this one, there's so many subtle points I didn't realize. As we're reading it, they're coming out even more. How Yasoda and Rohini, although bewildered and allowing her to do it, because the acharyas are explaining that there's some yoga maya here. It's not Maya Mohita, as Kate was just reading. It's actually yoga maya. And the very subtle difference between who's bewildering what living entities can only be understood from higher authorities. Otherwise, we'll speculate or impose our own considerations on circumstances.
Midoriya?
Yeah, Haribol. I was thinking of a couple of things. One is that, as it says in Bhagavad Gita, that you could be engaged, but even one of the senses, can carry away the living entity. And it's very dangerous. And as Dhruva Maharaj pointed out, association is so important. You could be following very strictly, so to speak, from the outside, but association helps to safeguard you, and it's a check. The other thing I was thinking of how kind Krishna is, that despite Putana being a witch and wanting to kill him, because she came in the form of a mother, he gave her liberation, just the same as Mother Yashoda, which is really, really, very surprising, but it's our merciful Lord.
Wow. So we shouldn't doubt that Krishna is actually going to take care of us too. That's nothing for him, to take care of us little trying to become devotee souls. He is there for us. He sees everything that we're doing. And I'm saying this to myself as well as to everyone, because sometimes, what does it say in the Bhagavad Gita? There's never happiness for the doubting soul. There is never happiness in this life nor the next. So we've come across this knowledge, and we've met the pure devotee, and we have Srila Prabhupada, and we have the scriptures. So therefore,
it's also revealing the nature of the person, his nature. It's his very nature. They're not. He's not imposing some artificial sense of mercy upon her. He's seeing that she's approaching him. There is some. It's what he sees. He's seeing that motherly act, and therefore he's thinking. Therefore, I have to reciprocate with that.
That's beautiful. And one more other point in our daily lives, we have to see this is how Krishna is dealing with living entity with so much love and so much tolerance amongst each other. We'd like to find fault so much with each other rather than encouraging each other to continue with this process and go back to Godhead. We have to see that in each one of us and not be so attracted to criticize. And what does that happen? What does it mean when we're criticizing others? We're either feeling insecure about ourselves or we want to put ourselves on a higher platform. Krishna sees equally. So he sees what we're doing. He sees how we're trying. Let's encourage each other, because we're all in here together. Here we are, all in the material world. We're all in material bodies, and we all are learning about Krishna and chanting his name. That means we have to love each other and help each other. Really, there should be that. Give each other the benefit of the doubt, no matter what anyone is doing in all different manners. Just give each other the benefit of the doubt and encourage each other. That's how we spread love of God. But, people come to the movement, if they see the devotees are not acting nicely with each other, I don't want to join that movement. You have to show what real love is, that we really care about each other, that we're willing to help each other in that way. Okie dokie. Let's go on with Acharya. Why don't you read next?
Can I say something very quickly about the last section of verses before I read?
Sure.
I was just wondering, am I the only one, or do some other devotees find it pretty funny when Prabhupada says how all of the people there were bewildered by Putana's beauty, especially the men? I always found that kind of funny.
Well, men are attracted to women. Women are attracted to men. So that's kind of far out.
Yeah, it did jump out the page to me too.
Yeah.
And it's a real jumper. Okay, so yeah, I guess Prabhupada knows human nature.
Yes.
He knows. And Maya knows how to get each one of us.
Okay.
Go on.
Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6, 10 through 13. On that very spot, the fiercely dangerous Rakshasi took Krishna on her lap and pushed her breast into his mouth. The nipple of her breast was smeared with a dangerous, immediately effective poison. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, became very angry at her, took hold of her breast, squeezed it very hard with both hands, and sucked out both the poison and her life. Unbearably pressed in every vital point, the demon Putana began to cry, "Please leave me, suck my breast no longer." Perspiring, her eyes wide open, and her arms and legs flailing, she cried very loudly again and again. as Putana screamed loudly and forcefully. The earth with its mountains and outer space with its planets trembled. The lower planets and all directions vibrated, and people fell down, fearing that thunderbolts were falling upon them. In this way, the demon Putana, very much aggrieved because her breast was being attacked by Krishna, lost her life. O King Parikshit, opening her mouth wide and spreading her arms, legs, and hair, she fell down in the pasturing ground in her original form as a Rakshasi, as Vritrasura had fallen when killed by the thunderbolt of Indra. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Putana was a great Rakshasi who knew the art of covering her original form by mystic power. But when she was killed, her mystic power could not hide her, and she appeared in her original form.
So what does that say? What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah, this whole thing, it looks like the veil of Maya is being challenged here.
Yeah, Krishna killed her and the Maya was removed, everyone thought, especially the men, that she was so beautiful. And now they see her real face, her real form. Also, I also like how the comparison is made with Vritrasura, because as we'll also learn about Putana, that she was killed, but she got a good result in the end. So that's also a nice parallel with the killing of Vritrasura as well.
Yeah, good. Anything else that you've seen
I
in these
don't have anything
verses?
else to add at this point.
Okay. Thank you. That was good. Thank you so much. And let's go on with Premananda.
Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6-14 through 17. O King Parikshit, when the gigantic body of Putana fell to the ground, it smashed all the trees within a limit of 12 miles. Appearing in a gigantic body, she was certainly extraordinary. The Rakshas's mouth was full of teeth, each resembling the front of a plow. Her nostrils were deep like mountain caves, and her breasts resembled big slabs of stone fallen from a hill. Her scattered hair was the color of copper. The sockets of her eyes appeared like deep blind wells. Her fearful thighs resembled the banks of a river. Her arms, legs, and feet seemed like big bridges, and her abdomen appeared like a dried up lake. The hearts, ears, and heads of the cowherd men and women were already shocked by the Rakshas's screaming, and when they saw the fierce wonder of her body, they were even more frightened.
Okay, so
Report.
no, there's no purport. But tell me what you think in relation to how the residents of Vrindavan are reacting here. This is one of the first demons that Krishna killed.
Right, that it was totally unexpected. And they're just saying that all that glitters is not gold. They thought Putana is a harmless woman, very nice, beautiful woman. And when they saw her true colors,
Wow,
they
what a
imagine
way.
how huge and big she is and how fierce. I mean, it's very natural, right, for any one of us to get kind of frightened seeing this form, which we don't see in the material world. But think of Brajavasis, where they live in pure goodness, right? Everything is serene, beautiful, peaceful, and suddenly to see this form of someone unimaginable, and that too, where Krishna is threatened, like to them, Krishna's life is in danger. So this is just like, I think they would faint.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to. Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you more about that when we read the next verses. Tisha, just could you read the next verses and we can continue the discussion, because this is all the same topic about Putana.
Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6, 18 through 21. Without fear, the child Krishna was playing on the upper portion of Putana Rakshasi's breast. And when the gopis saw the child's wonderful activities, they immediately came forward with great jubilation and picked him up. Thereafter, Mother Yashoda and Rohini, along with the other elderly gopis, waved about the switch of a cow to give full protection to the child Sri Krishna. The child was thoroughly washed with cow urine and then smeared with the dust raised by the movements of the cows. Then different names of the Lord were applied with cow dung on 12 different parts of his body, beginning with the forehead, as done in applying tilak. In this way, the child was given protection. The gopis first executed the process of achamana, drinking a sip of water from the right hand. They purified their bodies and hands with the Nyasya mantra and then applied the same mantra upon the body of the child.
Well, this actually, we did change subject matters between these set of verses and the previous one, where the demon Putana, who was very attractive before, was like revealing her real self. This is a very instructive thing in the material world. We see something we're attracted to, and if you look, just give it a little time, it becomes very, very violent and horrible. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned from these verses. And the next ones, this is also all about the cow. Why don't you talk about that, Tisha, a little bit? The glories of the cow and how every part of the cow is auspicious. Go on, Tisha.
I mean, I don't know what to say, but when there's all the auspiciousness and all these different parts are auspicious, then, you know, even more so you revere and you respect something. So each little part makes it all the more auspicious, you know, in your mind.
If a baby came into difficulty, is the first thing you do wash it with cow urine?
That wouldn't be my first.
No, I don't think so.
my
It's the
first.
difference between a Vedic civilization and the Vaishya community and how they dealt with this circumstance. It's actually revealing their culture.
Yeah.
And their faith, the faith in the cow. The first thing they did was to take baby off the demon.
Of course.
That was actually the first thing. And then they had to protect him with all these different talismans. And that's why, and this is all being referred to here.
It does make me just remember Prabhupada saying simple living, high thinking. You know, it was the Vedic culture.
Well, it's true too. It's true that if you drink cow urine, we lived in Mayapur and right on top of the Goshala, and every day I had something wrong with my liver or something, but they said cow urine. Every day I walked downstairs with my cup and I stood right in back of a cow and I had my cup of cow urine every single day. And I'm sure that helped my health. You know, so you have to have faith, but also knowledge is there that all these things, all these rituals that involve the cow are very beneficial for human society. What to speak of milk. And we see how the world is kind of going away from milk. Even we were discussing how the farmers in America were so upset that they're calling oat milk and almond milk and all these different milks that have nothing to do with the cow. You know, so you see how society is changing. Okay. Anyone else have something to say about
Tisha raised her hand
Oh.
again, and then Acharya.
Tisha? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say though that the cows of today in America aren't the cows of the Vedic culture.
Good
Because they're
point.
eating grass that's polluted and there's
Yeah.
just so much degradation. So the
Yeah,
cow-
injected with so many hormones and growths and things like that, so they'll produce better. Good point.
Okay. Wow. Jaya? Thank you, Tisha.
Yeah, one nice thing I read in the verses just read where Krishna was on the breast of the corpse of the big demon and all the gopis came forward. I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur who explains that Krishna was very young at the time of this pastime. So at that age, in Vedic culture, even Indian culture now, after the birth of the child, there's a period of time when you don't take the child outside for some days after the birth. So Krishna, by doing this, he was actually giving an opportunity for all the gopis of Vrindavan who because Krishna wasn't coming out. It was giving all of them a chance to see Krishna.
Oh,
sweet.
sweet.
He was
Yeah.
outside of the house, so all the gopis of Vrindavan could come forward and have his darshan.
Good. That's beautiful. See how he does so many things with just one activity. Thank you. Madhurya?
Regarding the cow, you know, in the West, the cows are not, apparently we're supposed to drink milk from Brahmin cows, the ones with the big hump. You know, the big hump,
Yeah.
they have a big hump, right? So apparently their milk is the best and the purest, but the Western cows are not like that. They're more like, they're more like beef-like looking cows. So, you know, there's always that been that controversy. Well, should you drink milk from these cows or not? You know, blah, blah, blah. But then I was just listening to a lecture where Prabhupada was in New Vrindavan, and they had their first cow. So I forgot, you know, I don't know what kind of cow, must have been a regular local Western cow. But he drank the milk from that cow and he
Good.
loved it. And he said everybody should drink it, and he really appreciated it and loved it.
Wow.
He didn't say anything. Oh, I'm not going to drink it because it's not a Brahmin cow, or he didn't make any comment like that.
You know,
No,
there-
not at
there-
all. He encouraged drinking milk.
Yeah, exactly.
and well, of course, that wasn't. It just went from the tit of the cow to Prabhupada's mouth. It wasn't any time to put in any extra purifiers. So, yes, Premananda?
Yeah, the cow was named Kalia. It's a black
Oh.
cow. And then in the second time, when
She
Prabhupada
famous in
visited
New
New-
Vrindavan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when Prabhupada visited the next time, he asked, "Where is my friend Kalia?"
Oh,
This cow
wow.
could be from
Sweet
the
as
spiritual world. Prabhupada said, "My friend Kalia."
isn't that beautiful? Oh,
Yeah.
what a fortunate cow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's just finish up here. Madhurya, you finished? Did you have another question? I think.
No, sorry.
Okay. Where I'm getting confused. Chaitamayi, would you like to read?
Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6, 22 through 26. Shukdev Goswami informed Maharaj Pariksit that the gopis, following the proper system, protected Krishna, their child, with this mantra. May Aja protect your legs. May Maniman protect your knees. Yagna, your thighs. Achyuta, the upper part of your waist. And Hayagriv, your abdomen. May Keshava protect your heart. Isha, your chest. The sun god, your neck. Vishnu, your arms. Urukrama, your face. And Ishvara, your head. May Chakri protect you from the front. May Sri Hari Gadadari, the carrier of the club, protect you from the back. And may the carrier of the bow, who is known as the enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugaya, the carrier of the conch shell, protect you from all corners. May Upendra protect you from above. May Garuda protect you on the ground. And may Lord Haladhara, the Supreme Person, protect you on all sides. May Hrishikesh protect your senses, and Narayan your life air. May the Master of Svetadvip protect the core of your heart. And may Lord Yogeshwar protect your mind. May Lord Prishnigarbha protect your intelligence. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead protect your soul. While you are playing, may Govinda protect you. And while you are sleeping, may Madhava protect you. May Lord Vaikuntha protect you while you are walking. And may Lord Narayan, the husband of the goddess of fortune, protect you while you are sitting. Similarly, may Lord Yagnabuk, the fearful enemy of all evil planets, always protect you while you enjoy life.
Oh my goodness. So this is the Veda culture.
Mm, mm.
Oh,
Look, so these are all names of Krishna,
yeah.
and they're just repeating them over for each and every aspect of our human existence, from our feet and our hands to our intelligence, in all directions. It's very beautiful and very elegant. And
Yeah.
what a boon to bestow on a child.
Yeah, and oh my goodness. We were discussing before, if something terrible was happening to your child, what would the first thing you be? What would the first thing you would do? So this is how to protect ourselves, by saying the names of God, by using the auspiciousness of the cow. It's beautiful. This is how to live.
This is actual protection.
Yeah, saying Krishna's name. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. And it's very simple.
It's so
Thank you.
beautiful. I had a question. There are many other protection prayers that are given, such as the Narayan Kavacha Shield and the Ram Raksha Stotram. Is this one specific for infants, or are they all have equal application?
I don't know anything about that, but I would speculate, educated guess, that all of them are pretty good for everything.
Yeah.
The names, and if you don't know, just chant Hare Krishna. All of this is pointing to the Yuga Dharma, and how wonderfully merciful the Lord is to give us a simple process, to chant His holy name. And we don't have faith that actually this really works. Prabhupada said at least 16 rounds. Okay, that doesn't mean, all right, if I'm a pure devotee and I have no other thought and I'm all pure, then maybe. But in our situation in the world today, in my mind today, why not just have the holy name on your lips at all times? I read this one who was chanting. It was in Bhajan Mahasya. It's a quote. I forgot where the quote was, but it was quoted in Bhajan Mahasya by Bhaktivinoda, that one who has the holy name of the Lord always upon his lips, he has worshipped Vasudeva for many, many lifetimes. So this is sublime. Thank you. Ian, did you have? Thank you, Cheta. Ian, do you have a question?
Yeah, just a comment.
Okay.
The Vedic culture was of such that not only did they know many names of the Lord, but also were able to say, this made the Lord, in Damodar, Keshava, at different parts of the body. So, I was saying, wow, they knew the names of the Lord, but also as to which part they, asked that, that name to protect that part of the body.
Right. And
Yes,
what does that remind you of? What do we?
I mean, tilak, when
Yeah.
you put in a tilak in the morning, yes.
Good. Protecting.
Yes.
We need protection. One time Prabhupada saw someone without neck beads and said, if you knew what was in back of you, you would never go without neck beads. This is a dangerous world, grossly, subtly, in every way. We have to always protect ourselves with Krishna's names and with his pure devotee, Tulsi Maharani. Yes, Acharya. Thank you, Ian. That was good. Thank you.
About the point about different protective mantras, I'm sure they're all, bona fide and useful, but it's also worth remembering that Srila Prabhupada gave us a specific mantra for protection beyond the Maha Mantra, and that's the Nishringa Pranam and the and Jayadev's Nishringa mantra that he instituted as normal ISKCON procedure. So that's also good to remember for protection.
Yes, very good. And that was a major, I remember in the very beginning, when we first went to India, all the Sankirtan devotees were buying these nice round pieces of Lord Nrsingadev on.
Oh, nice.
The coins of Lord Nrsimhadev, and all the Sankirtan devotees were wearing Lord Nrsimhadev. Yeah,
And
I was a Sankirtan devotee, so I can.
And I also think Prabhupada introduced that after he had his stroke or heart attack or whatever it was he
Really?
had in New York, that's when he taught that mantra to the devotees.
Wow, wonderful. We are so fortunate. Thank you. All right, I think we have one more verse. Let's finish up here. Kate, would you like to read this? Oh, that's my darling. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6-27-30. The evil witches known as Dakinis, Yatudanis, and Kushmandas are the greatest enemies of children, and the evil spirits like the Bhutas, Pretas, Pisachas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, and Vinayakas, as well as witches like Kotara, Revati, Jeshta, Putana, and Matrika are always ready to give trouble to the body, the life air, and the senses, causing loss of memory, madness, and bad dreams. Like the most experienced evil stars, they all create great disturbances, especially for children. But one can vanquish them simply by uttering Lord Vishnu's name. For when Lord Vishnu's name resounds, all of them become afraid and go away. Srila Sukadev Goswami continued, all the gopis, headed by Mother Yashoda, were bound by material affection. After they thus chanted mantras to protect the child, Mother Yashoda gave the child the nipple of her breast to suck, and then got him to lie down on his bed.
That was maternal affection, Kate.
Purport, when a baby drinks milk from the breast of his mother, this is a good sign of health. So the elderly gopis were not satisfied with chanting mantras to give protection to Krishna. They also tested whether their child's health was in order. When the child sucked the breast, this confirmed that he was healthy, and when the gopis were fully satisfied, they had the child lie down on his bed.
Wow, isn't that wonderful for you to read that particular verse, right?
I was thinking the same thing. That was very unique.
That's wonderful. Good for you. So what do you think about this?
Well, just reading this particular pastime in practicality in my life, this is my son could read this or have me read this story to him over and over and over again. And this is, he cannot be tamed by anything or sitting still. He can't be bothered to sit still, but he is so captivated by this story on a simple level. And here we are studying it in depth, which there's the complexities, there's the simplicities. It's just, it's timeless, it's ever fresh, it's meaningful for a 3-year-old. And, here we are, all ages and stages of our lives. So it is
wonderful. We don't know who these children are. We do not know who the people are taking birth in this movement, Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Thank you.
Yeah, and all the fancy stuff that we have in our house, we have all kinds of books, Dr. Seuss, this and that, light up toy. He will stare at the Putana, the picture. He'll stare at it. So, yeah, because nothing is more thrilling to a child than these stories.
That's true. And we're in that sense, we're all children. And we also be thrilled at every moment to hear these stories. And your son is no ordinary person, that's for sure. And I'm sure his brother, who will shortly be appearing, is neither an ordinary person either.
But even in the beginning, when Sukadev Goswami, he reminds Parikshit that this is to calm your anxieties. So how these stories can be practical in our lives is very important to remember. Not just to pacify a 3-year-old, but these are very, this fearlessness that we need to have, or that we can have, that is possible through the study and the practice of this bhakti yoga. It's very profound.
Good girl. Very beautiful. Okay. First Ian and then Acharya. Ian, would you like to say something?
Yeah, just quickly, I read that in I think in Africa, the babies are fed up to 4 years of old. 4 years old, they're fed the mothers make up to 4 years old.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, it is said that the longer a child is spent with its mother, it develops some sort of bond, there's something that develops in a child that it doesn't get it from if the child wasn't with the mother for any length of time.
Right.
Yes,
Very
and some
strong
countries they have to be asking mothers to breastfeed. So as we see, the lot of the information that we get from the Vedic culture, so much we can see how far we are from in the semblance of that today. You have to be encouraging mothers to feed their babies. In some places, if they see a mother breastfeeding, say, "Wow, what's she doing?" Because it's so rare. So yeah, that is very important.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Yes.
And also, it's supposed to reduce lust when a child is fed by his mother through the breast. Thank you, Ian. Acharya, do you want to say
Hare
something?
Krishna, thank you. First, I'm going to apologize because I feel like I'm raising my hands too much, but there's just so much.
No,
reports.
we
You're
love
not-
participation.
you're fine.
Nobody
We
can do that.
We'll let you know, though.
Okay, and also what Prabhu just said about, or no, you said about nursing. When my son was born, we went to a nursing coach or nursing consultant, and she told us that if a child doesn't get the breast enough when it's an infant, then he'll be too much mad after breasts when he grows up. But that's
there you go. It
but that's
cures lust. There you go.
Well, what I really wanted, I was really amazed, Prabhupada wrote in the purport that the gopis weren't satisfied just by chanting mantras, but they actually wanted to see to the health of the child. So I'm thinking how sometimes you can imagine if a devotee is in some trouble or some difficulty, and if a devotee says to them, "Oh, chant Hare Krishna," or "Oh, it's your karma," or some philosophy like that, that we shouldn't be satisfied with that, just like the gopis weren't satisfied just by mantras, but you should be willing to really something to actually help the person.
Intelligence. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he is the intelligence of men and women. So use your intelligence. We just don't sit there and wait for things to happen. He gives us the intelligence to act. Okay, well, that was a very enlivening discussion. Does anyone else have anything else to say before we end? Because I think we finished our... Pati, did you want to say something?
Looks like Acharya raised his hand again.
Sorry.
I just wanted to say this is my first time attending the Zoom meeting, and I loved it so much. It was, it's an excuse to reread the Bhagavatam and hearing all the devotees' realizations. And I'm just sad that now this is the last one for a few months. Like I got in, I should have joined this months ago. And thanks a lot for letting me take part.
Yes, thank you for joining us. You read wonderfully too. I like the expression you used, and when you were reading about how Krishna grabbed Putana's breast, it was very, very captivating.
Hare Krishna. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for doing it and for letting me take part.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Good point to end on, and we'll wish everybody happy holidays, and we'll see you again in April. May Krishna protect you from all sides.
Yes,
I think we just read. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.